Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your love reading for October 2019. It's Rena here. I'm just looking through my cards because I kind of picked them up upside down. I want to make sure that they're not all, reversed if I pull them. So this is the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. Boy, I hope I can get through this reading because I hear something in the background. And if it gets closer, then I'll have to stop here. Okay. So I told you I was making sure that the deck is upright, and here I am with these two cards that are reversed. And I don't really get many reverse cards these days. I used to get a lot more. So it's always interesting when I do. Now this one is the Seven of Cups. Okay, good. Alrighty then. So we've got a few reversed cards. And by the way, sometimes reversed cards are not necessarily a negative connotation. They can be the positive one, and the upright can be the one that's the challenging one. Okay, so the heart of the matter is the Temperance card. By the way, this card is intended for people who are single as well as people who are in a relationship. The Temperance card in the reverse position, this is actually Sagittarius's card. Let me show you what it looks like upright. If you can figure this one out, let me know. The Temperance card typically is a card of balance between the spiritual and the material, as so above, so below, that kind of thing. Now, in, the everyday analysis or interpretation, to me, the Temperance card can actually be alcoholism in the reverse position, somebody with an addiction or some other type of addiction, who, and also even love addiction, people who have a tendency to crave relationships. And once they end one relationship, they want to get into another one. This seems to be particularly true if the moon sign is in Libra or Pisces, or perhaps even, I would say, I don't know about Cancer, but Taurus, okay? And that desire for that relationship is very strong. And certainly, Sag, if you have Libra, if you have Venus in Libra, or Mars in Libra, you may have the same kind of desire, or just you think, hey, this is how I want to live. I always want to have a relationship, or plant the Sun in the 7th house, or Venus in the 7th house. So the point being that there's an imbalance because the self is not being acknowledged enough. And this is true whether or not you are single or whether or not you're involved with somebody right now, because you might be involved with the wrong person and you find it hard to leave until you line up the next person that comes along. But again, this could be something to do with some kind of an addiction that you're dealing with a partner. Or even, I would say, like bipolar, where somebody tends to get imbalanced mentally, emotionally, and they go from one extreme to another, one mood to another, and it kind of throws you off balance as well. In the past position, we have the Empress card in reverse. So this is their depiction, Wild Unknown Tarot's depiction of the Empress card. That's another one. I just love the artwork in these cards. Some of the depictions are a bit inscrutable for me, but that's okay. I just love the variety of colors, and some of them are black and white. I really think that's fun. But anyway, the Empress card is about motherhood, fertility, and other kinds of just love itself. But in the challenge position, this can be a woman who is using sexuality to lure partners. Now, I don't know if this would be you or if this is somebody, I was going to say a hoochie mama, that the person that you're with is with. Oh yeah, and the Temperance card could be sexual addiction. And maybe you're dealing with that in a relationship. But this is a past position. So maybe you have made that mistake in the past of using your feminine wiles in a way to get a relationship, and then not having what you wanted and actually having your life kind of be a little bit chaotic. Typically, Sagittarians don't do this only because even the females, it's a masculine sign, so the women tend to act like men. But that's only one position, and you might have a lot of feminine signs in planets, or just in general, you may just feel like you've got to do what it takes to get what you want, and you think that this is how life is. And understand that this is the past, so it is an evolution. Life is an evolution if you're playing it right. And the higher message is the Strength card. So this is about, it's not just this card is connected to Leo, by the way, but it's really about an inner strength. And with Leo, we always associate confidence. And confidence is about knowing yourself. I think that is the ultimate definition of confidence, of knowing who you are at the core. And that means that you don't do things that are not part of you, they're inauthentic. And the Empress in reverse may have been a phase that you went through that made you feel like you were desirable, but you realize it didn't have the outcome that you were looking for. And so once it's so paradoxical. It's so paradoxical about life that once you decide that you don't need something, it comes to you very easily. And so hopefully you understand what I mean about that. I mean, I do think that it is connected to the law of attraction, because a lot of times when we're desperate for something, it eludes us, right? And then when sometimes people might say, okay, I give up, I don't even care anymore. And then all of a sudden they get it because they let go of resistance. And same with love, and especially with love, because love isn't a physical, it's not a material commodity. So it's not something that's easy to manipulate. That's why it's one of the hardest things to really get when you're looking for true love. What I would recommend too is that you listen to my October astrology forecast, because I talk a little bit about love in there, and even soulmates, with the Venus going into the 12th house. So to me, it's about having that confidence that you know who you are and you won't settle for less. For some of you who are entangled with somebody with an addiction, whether it's sex addiction or whatever, it may simply be that you are confident enough to see that this is a problem and strong enough to move forward in your life. What crosses you is the Father of Swords. Now, it's interesting, this is the King of Swords. And in the challenge position, this is a man who might be chronologically older. Sometimes it can be your literal father. And with the challenge position with the swords, this could be a cruel person. This could be somebody who withheld love from you. If it is your father, that person may be informing all of your bad choices in relationships. You're looking for love in all the wrong places, as that country song goes. And, in order to, it's really funny because what happens is the person is attracted to the dysfunctional person because they remind them of the past, But then they need to change that because they don't want that past situation. So it's like, being attracted to the wrong person and trying to change them into somebody who will give you what you needed 20 years ago or whatever, that you cannot replicate now. You cannot, any love that you get from a romantic partner is not going to make up for what you were lacking in childhood. It doesn't work that way. And when people realize that, they stop expecting that from another person. Obviously, you should have love from a partner, but it has to be genuine. You shouldn't have to work for it. They should be freely admiring you and freely praising you in a very genuine way, not in a phony way to get you into their clutches, but somebody who really genuinely thinks you're an awesome person. But you may have found yourself with somebody who plays mind games, a narcissist. This person, what you have to understand about this person, if you are in a relationship, is that you cannot get them to see the light. So you're wasting your time. I believe that everyone can change if they want to change. The problem with these types of individuals is they simply are so lost, out of touch with who they are, and really so wounded themselves that it's very hard for them to acknowledge all of this. So it's much easier for them to be on the offensive and try to undermine other people around them. So if you're caught up in that kind of a scenario, my first suggestion is to read the book Codependent No More by Melody Beatty. And then if you want to get counseling or something like that, you can certainly do that. But being able to see how you have kind of like abandoned your own dreams, trying to get somebody else to do something, whether it's to quit drinking or drugging, or whether it's to quit cheating on you, and then that drains you, and then you can't, you don't have time for your own goals and your own dreams, and then you become a shell of yourself. So you don't want to take it that far. Excuse me. What's coming in is the Star, and this is hope, hopefulness, healing. Maybe an Aquarius who really gets you. The Empress, by the way, I didn't say this is connected to Venus, so it could be either a Taurus or a Libra person who is bad news. It's just like, you don't want to be with that person. If that is somebody who you've been dealing with, maybe that is the Libra, Father of Swords, because that's air sign. But anyway, the Star card is about faith in the unseen, being able to have hope when it seems like everything is hopeless. If you're single, the Temperance in reverse may be the aftermath of another bad relationship, and you just feel, or maybe you just feel imbalanced in your life. And the Star card can indicate that you have the potential for attracting to yourself what you want. It's like having your, wishing upon a star and having your dreams come true. Yes, that sounds kind of like wishful thinking, being, far-fetched, but it does happen. And even in old age, people find their soulmate. It doesn't always happen when you're 20. Sometimes it can happen when you're in your 60s. So Sagittarians are typically very positive thinking, but if you've had a lot of hard knocks, obviously that can make you a little bit cynical. And the Star card is about being guided, maybe by I don't know, like an angel, or I was thinking of your, what are they called? Ugh, why can't I think? Why can't I think right now? You know, your higher, not your higher self, but spirit guides. That's what I was thinking. But even like crossed over loved ones can be helpful in nudging you in the right direction. Go to that party. Go to that gallery, that art gallery opening that your friend told you about, and you may meet somebody there, you know. And sometimes we just dismiss those things and we say, oh, I don't want to do that. And that could, you know, that could be a place where you meet that person. The outcome is the Seven of Cups. And this can be that you have a lot of opportunities come your way for love. Also in my monthly forecast, I talk about the full moon in the fifth house, which is the house of romance. So that can be either, maybe if you've been involved with somebody, you finally end it. Maybe that's the temperance in reverse individual, or the Father of Swords individual. But the Seven of Cups is about possibilities, you know, that you have these possibilities. But who knows? Maybe the possibilities are not particularly, you know, good ones. You know, you may have quantity over quality. So it's very important that you do, if you are on the dating scene, that you do exercise discernment, that you don't take people at face value if they present themselves in a really glowing, you know, sort of a way, like your knight in shining armor, that you don't get carried away emotionally. Sometimes with the Seven of Cups, this is another card of addiction. So something, you know, if you have any kind of issues in that area, solve those issues, because it will improve every aspect of your life. But if you don't do that, it can cloud your judgment. So wishful thinking too is having an unrealistic attitude about what relationships are about. And sometimes this can come about when somebody has grown up with a really bad situation, plus reading Harlequin romances, or watching those movies that are so, you know, everything is so perfect, you know, and that's not how life is. But it shouldn't be a source of constant pain, that's for sure. So I'm going to pick an additional card. Another Cups card. This is the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. So perhaps getting what you want. You are going to have, you know, in October, Venus is in the 11th house for the first 8 days of October. So that is the house of hopes and wishes. So maybe you do meet, and then when it goes in the 12th house, it's soulmates. So I hope that Sagittarians who are looking for love can find that special someone in October. And I hope that you enjoyed this. And if you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.